One of the other things I try to do too is to determine how long the oar length is for each hull. A lot of the boats have been coming in around 8 and 8.5 feet, but this little guy is a little bit smaller, so I wanted to set up a test here. So I've got a piece of scrap plywood set out level from the bottom, even though the water level is going to be up here when somebody's sitting in the hull. I wanted to, to be sure that I had, enough blade in the water to make the test accurate. So I've got my horn and block in place, and I've got something up here I'll show you later. But when you're setting down, you want to be able to row. When you get your thigh here, you row. You want to be comfortable, and so you're going to have about that much distance up from your lap, which is about 12-14 inches. About 14 inches on the comfortable rowing level. So I've got that set up at around about 12 inches above the bottom of the seat. And then we'll come through the horn and give myself a little bit of room between the ends and get a full blade in the water. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me tip it down a little bit. I'm back up to the top up there, and then 7 foot, no, it was right there, so probably about a 7 foot oar should be fine. 7.5 to be on this if you want some extra power, and both those oars will be short enough to fit inside the hull. Well, I had this I was going to put in. It was going to be kind of like a dagger board but for a tire. I was going to mount up in here, and I had the seat, the slit in the front part of the seat pyramid that I've got working here. You can see I replaced it, and it kind of set. Hey, get up here. Kind of over like that. But I did some drawings, mock-up drawing on my computer of what I was trying to do, and by the time you tip it up, it's not going to be, the bow is going to be too down, possibly digging into stuff without having a wheel that was going to be too big. So that idea has been abandoned. That's why I make cardboard and draw pictures. So we'll get back to the seat. Basically it's a 12-inch square on top, 12 inches across here, 14 on the bottom, 12 down on each side. This one I trimmed a little bit. It's no longer, well, maybe it is 12 inches still. Yeah, it's still 12 inches. And you can see it's got a little bit of an angle to it, but I've got to trim some of this material up here to fit into the arc. Let me reset up. Got a little gap down in here. It's about the height of the pencil, so I'm going to give it maybe a little bit more, but do I have, I guess I can use a piece of cardboard here. Bring it up a little higher. And so, just draw it along and get your scissors. Trim it down. I had a little bit of overhang here anyway. Tapers down into still a little bit of gap here, but you can always fill this up with easy fillet. Can't stress enough of making cardboard mock-ups for any of these panels you're going to do. I've already got my little bulwarks on the sides measured up and drawn, so that's much much closer fit. Get back on my center line marks here. And I don't know if I would waste a pencil line. I guess I could do a little bit more trim, but now I got to trim along the fronts here, so that'll destroy that measurement. So then have to go into a fraction of some sort. So I'm fine. That'll all be filled in place when I get ready to put the plywood in. It'll be holding the shape better than the cardboard, and I'll just put a couple of little Gel Magic jump stitches there. So I'm trying to debate now whether or not to angle this down a little more or to leave it simple like that. This more of an angle here on the front. Let me zoom out. Oop, that's it. Vertical, or more vertical in the front, I like for that to keep you can tuck your feet in a little bit more to be setting straighter. But on the front here, it'll push some of the seating out a little bit farther, and it'll also give you a nicer place to put a hatch in. So I'll probably go with that. If you want, if you want to make these vertical sides all the way around, just make a box. That works too. I find that by having a pyramid, a little tapering, you get a little more strength, and you move out the material a little farther. And then there's also going to be probably about in here on both sides, about 18, probably about 9 inches right along here on both sides. There's going to be a stiffener board underneath, and that'll be glassed in and over. And so we'll have that ridge along in here. I don't have anything to mock it up, but right in there on the other side. So that'll give me a little more stiffening, and if you wanted to, you could even turn this measurement out a little bit farther so it does set over, so you have a little more flare on both sides. If you have an extra plywood, I would probably maybe recommend doing that. It's always nice to be pushing down on something, but it's close enough. So, and I'm still debating on this, my hand in here. Yeah, let me lift up a little bit. I'm still debating on this. I'm going to pull it off and then do another mock-up of the smaller thing. I'm still going to, I like the idea of having the little Scotty sticking through the bow as opposed to setting up here with that block and all that kind of funky looking stuff. I'm going to have it stick through there. You can do yours differently, but this one I'm going to have penetrating. And I think I'm probably going to do that in the drawings for the sole duct drifter on the bow and the stern panels of it. I'll have the little Scotties protruding through. Makes us cleaner and a stronger fitting without having to have that little flexing in there. Unless, I guess, you twist it out and you pull the line and the anchor and everything goes into a bag or a bucket or whatever. Then but then you got the little blocks and stuff to have to make. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off, and I'm going to do another mock-up, and then we'll come back, and then I'm going to go back into sanding and getting ready to put the stain on, and probably start cutting out some of the material for the seats and the little bulwarks on the side, the little triangle things, get them in place. So, well, I've got this little box made. Probably would have shaped it differently if I hadn't used this old hatch cutout for the backing plate for the eye hook or the U-bolt on the bow, but the little Scotty thing here will set down on that through a hole in here, and it looks like it'll extend out about 5 inches at least. Yeah, at least 5.5 inches, which gives me quite a bit of clearance up on the bow. Let me reset up and we'll go to the bow and take another look. And then we got this here, and it would stick out, be setting about like that coming out about here. So we're going to have quite a bit of, about like that. So we're going to have at least that much hanging out the bow. So if your anchor is going to be right here, it's not really going to be banging around on the bow much. But I may still put a some sort of plate in here. I have enough distance length on the U-bolt that I could put a plate around here for banging, but I'll know that when we get the equipment. I got to go down to the store and get the Scotty stuff. Well, I made up my mind. We're going to go with the small block hipper. I may make some changes once I get the hole cut for the Scotty to go through. I was fiddling around with the bow hatch, and I had, nah, it's just as easy to store your stuff in bags or a bucket or whatever, as opposed to having something you're going to have to get inside of. The only sealed compartment will be the center seat. If you want to put a seat in for something, you can. I figure I'm going to leave this one open, so if you want to take your dog with you, the dog has a nice big open area up here. He can go lay in and stand and walk around without having to have the compartment up here to get in the way. So, and also it's going to keep the boat a lot lighter. Probably there's going to be another 10 pounds of epoxy and wood in that thing, and then without having the extra hatch, I only have to get one 6-inch hatch now. So I'm going to go ahead and go into sanding, which you've seen before, and cut out all the little bulkhead or bulwarks along the sides. I've got all these shaped. I just need to cut them out now, so there'll be 3 on each side, and that and the seat, and I'll have the basic construction done with a few little pads. I still got my motor mounts, motor mount wear pads to put in inside and outside on the transom here. So I'm going to go ahead and get that and cut out the seat panels and get that assembled. That'll be another little episode too, when you come back and assembling all of this and putting these together. So I don't know if I have enough time yet or not, maybe. If it is, we'll see you later. This may be a short one.